What's up, guys? It's the Chiefster here, back with another video, and today we've got a build day on the van. So I've got some plans that I'm going to go over and show you guys what we're planning to do with the van and kind of what the whole process is going to be with it and stuff that we hope to get out of it. But today I'm going to be showing you guys kind of how this all goes. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not the best carpenter. I'm good at a lot of other like handyman stuff, but carpentry, not my strong side. But honestly, that's kind of how you learn. So that's kind of one of the reasons I want to do this too anyways, because it'll teach me and I'll get a little bit better at doing carpentry. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. But let me kind of go over what the plans are. The first thing obviously we're starting out with is the bed platform and how that's all going to work out. So let me show you guys what our plans are. Okay, so I'm sure it's going to be a little bit confusing, but here is just a drawing of, imagine that this is the back of the van. So this is the back right here. This is the front, driver, passenger. So that's what we have here. Basically what we want to do is make 3 different boxes that are going to set in these areas. And originally we were talking about having a hinge right here on these. We're not actually going to do a hinge. I'll explain what we're going to do. But the reason we're going to have these 3 separate boxes is, for one thing, we want to be able to take these out when we want to use the van. So these will be bolted down or something. They'll be locked in place in a way that we can undo them and be able to take these out and just have the full back of the van open again. But these 3 will be permanently down when we have it in camper mode, not in van mode. But the reason for doing this design is because we can have it like this, which this is our door with our window. So we'll be able to come in through that door, and that would be the entrance when these are set in place here. So you'd be able to walk in. You could even walk out the back if you wanted to. There's a handle here that you can actually open the door. So that would be great for being able to just walk through if you need to. But the main reason we want to do this, and that's what all these crazy drawings are here, we really want a modular system where it's something that we can kind of transform into what we want. Something big we talked about was we wanted like a sectional design, so we could have like a TV up here. So that would be this one, where what we would do is actually have a platform here that moves over to this space and sets right in there. So this would be acting as a backrest when we are not going to be having it set down here. But when we want it, we would take the backrest and we would put it here. And that's when you would get that filled in here. You would actually have this design, if that's all we did was that, we'd have a sectional couch like that. And then if we wanted to, we would have a piece here that also would be a backrest sitting here, so that we could take that backrest and put it here. So we'd have some kind of system up here to lock this into place and set that down. That's going to be a little more complicated, but if you did that, that's when you'd have this full sectional design, which was something we really wanted to be able to get that. And then of course the other thing would be there's a backrest here. So all these have backrests. There's backrest here, here, and here, and the backrests fit into these positions. So this one fits here, this one fits here, this one fits here, so that you have a full shape that you could put in. And they'll all be resting in different ways. We may need some type of support that can like collapse. That'll be here. That's what we're gonna have to kind of figure out. But the reason for doing this is that then once all the backrests are put down in place, you'll have this, which is the bed in the end. There will be some seams. We'll try to make these cushions pretty thick so that they kind of squeeze down into the spots, but there might be some little bits of gap while you're sleeping, but I hope we don't notice it that much. But you'll get the full bed. And the cool thing is, yeah, you can do all these different designs. So you could enter from the back and have a sectional facing out back. If you're looking at a nice view or something, you could be chilling looking out the back window, or you could be sitting this way, like I said, where you could have a TV up here, so you're watching TV inside the van during a rainy day or something. Or you can just have a strip that leads to the front of the van and from the back, so you have 2 benches on each side. This would be good for if we have a little table in the middle or something, so we're working or eating or whatever. And then of course this little side sectional. And there's even a possibility that we could just have this one filled and these 2 open, but I'm not sure what the point of that would be, but maybe we'll do that. I mean, that's the cool thing about this. You can do pretty much anything. So that's kind of the plans right now. Hopefully you guys could understand that. I know it's kind of weird trying to explain it on a piece of paper. You'll see more what I'm talking about as I get into it, and I'm sure I'm going to run into issues as I get into it. But today, basically what I'm going to be working on is building the boxes that are going to be those 3 boxes that set into the van that can be removed. So we are going to be building those boxes out of 2x3s and some 1x2s. It was kind of just the cheapest stuff they had at Home Depot. I'll go over what we bought in a second. And then the top for everything was just some cheap plywood that we felt like could be strong enough to be able to support us, but cheap, and it's not sanded or anything because it's not going to need to be, because it's going to be covered. So here is everything we have now. So I did make one cut that was a 2x3 right there, but I kind of was working on it yesterday. So we have this plywood. You can see it is decently thick. It's got 4 different plies to it. And that wasn't very expensive. So it was $36, which I know is not super cheap, but I mean, with the way inflation's gone in lumber prices lately, it was a better price than we were looking at, like a $58 piece of sanded plywood, and we realized we don't need that because it's all going to be covered anyway. And then, like I said, we have these 2x3s. So we didn't go with 2x4s because of 2 things. One, I feel like these are going to be just fine for what we need. They were also cheaper, obviously, because they're smaller bits of, well, I should say obviously, but some things weren't cheaper necessarily because they were smaller, but these were cheaper than 2x4s. It was about $1 cheaper per thing. It was $3.25 for us per 2x3 versus $4.25 for a 2x4. So that's why we went with these, and also because they're going to be a little bit lighter. And of course, with a van, you want to make sure you're trying to build this out as light as possible. And then I also got some 1x2s, and these are kind of just going to be for blocking, for holding supports and stuff, and maybe whatever else we need. Those were really cheap. These were actually only $1.77, and these are 8-foot runs. So we got 12 of the 2x3s, 5 of the 1x2s, and I think there could be some stuff that we do need to return. And then I got a box of exterior screws, 2-inch screws. I hope 2 inches is actually long enough. I think it should work. But the important thing here is that we got exterior because you don't want these to rust. Because obviously with this being in a van, it is gonna get some moisture with it just sitting outside. So it's good to have something that's not gonna rust. Also, this plywood panel is a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet. And it is a little bit over 1/2 inch. So we kind of put this down and pushed on it some to see if it felt supportive. Definitely did, so I think it's gonna work out well. So in total, we spent $99.52 on all this stuff, the wood, the screws, and all that. And I did save a little bit of money using Ibotta. I talk about that sometimes in my videos, but that's something you guys should check out. I've got a referral link down below in the description because you can actually buy a gift card like right away at the cash register for whatever the amount is, and you get a little bit of discount. So I think it was 2% cash back is what I got for buying my gift card right then there on Ibotta, instead of using my credit card, which gave me like 1% always on stuff like that. So I got an extra 1% cash back with shopping with Ibotta. So check that out down below in the description. I'm probably gonna talk about them a lot during these type of build videos because I use them all the time for stuff like that. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with how much we spent. It wasn't too bad. And I know lumber prices have been crazy. Luckily, they've come down some, so we bought at a better time. But yeah, that's where we are with the buying. So now let's get to the building. Okay, so to give you a little bit better view of what I was talking about, I'm talking about here, there's gonna be a box there, and then on this side, box here to around there, and then around here to up there. That's at least the plan at this point. All right, so the first thing I plan to do is build a base kind of around this wheel well, because this isn't square, so this does make it kind of difficult, but I'm just gonna build the base frame first, so then work the box up from there. So that's kind of what my idea is. It's gonna go a little bit past this here. This one's gonna be kind of down here, down there, and then across, and then we got a box for the bottom, and hopefully just work from there. One eternity later. Got this bottom done, which actually I feel pretty good about. It took forever, but that's kind of the way this is gonna go. This is just one piece though, and it sets in right on that lip right there. So it kind of goes down, holds it pretty well right in there. But now I gotta work around area here that's all bumped out. I probably need to drop that down to fit that in, but I've also got the wheel well to deal with, so it's kind of difficult dealing with a box right here. All right, I chopped it down 1 inch. That is much better so that the top can slide right underneath that. I'm also gonna use that inch cut I just took and make that little extra support there. All right guys, so it is late. The sun actually set and I gotta stop today. I was so close to being done with this. You can see I just needed to add one more support. I may put another support in the middle there, but we've got the box. I mean, this is all together. It's really fitting in well with these grooves that are on the floor, so I got it fitting in there pretty well. But tomorrow I'm hopefully gonna get an earlier start and maybe get this done tomorrow, maybe get all the framing done. So I'm actually pretty happy with the way it's all turning out right now. And I did have one more thing to tell you. I got these 3.5 inch screws. I actually got 2 boxes of those because I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously the screws were gonna be too short because they're 2.5 inch wood, so 2-inch screws aren't gonna work, but I got 2 boxes of those and that was $21.14. But again, I think there is gonna be some return stuff. I might have bought too much, but it's better to buy too much than have to keep running back to Home Depot. So that's it for tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, day 2. time to get at it. Hopefully I can get the entire framing done today. That's my hope. Okay, so first thing I need to do is finish up this box. I just need to put another support over there. Maybe one in the middle. I don't think I need one down there, but one over there for sure. Probably will do one in the middle just to be safe. And then that box will be done, and then I'll work on these two. All right, here it is. It is done. Might be a little overkill. Some of these I might not have needed as much support, but I did feel like, you know, this helps because when you sit on a bench, a lot of times you sit closer to the front, and this may seem less supported, but of course, remember there's going to be plywood over that. That's going to give it more support across it. But I added that down there, added another support here. I added a back support just so that doesn't bow down because I realized that's probably important to have that there, and then two in the front for where you sit to make sure that that stays. So I'm honestly pretty happy with the way it's turning out. I'm sitting on it right now, so I got enough headspace too. The cushion's gonna raise it up, a little bit of the plywood's gonna raise it up, but I should be still able to sit completely upright, which is going to be awesome. And let's be honest, I slouch anyway, so I'm going to be sitting like this. So from here I realized I don't need to do two separate boxes over here because it really doesn't make sense. I'll just do one across because it's supposed to be permanent anyway. And then when I want to turn this back into a van, all I do is take that out and that one, and they're not very heavy. This is probably like 25 pounds, so maybe that would be 50 pounds. So with me and my wife, I should be able to get it out pretty easy. But I would just do one across there, and then the backrest would be split into two pieces so that you can still have that modular design I was talking about. So I feel a lot better about that. I'm really glad to have the one done. It's honestly really exciting to see it come along. The design is a little confusing and it's not perfect. Like I wrote up a plan, and of course, like nothing goes to that plan, but that's carpentry. You just kind of work with what you're doing, especially when you don't have square sides. So that's kind of where I'm going from. But just to let you guys know, I will do a more in-depth video kind of talking about exactly what I did along the process. If you kind of want to follow along yourself, there is some stuff that's kind of just up to what you want to do, and a lot of it's just working into those areas, but I'll do a little more in-depth video later. But yeah, for now, since I only have to do one more box, I'm really excited about that because I should be able to just get that done tonight. I don't see why I should do two boxes. It really doesn't make any sense, except for maybe making it less weight to pull out, but I really don't care about that. I can pull out that weight anyway. So I'm gonna actually eat a little bit now, and then I'm gonna get back to that and work on that second box. Okay, so we ran into our first snag. I actually had to take off this like walkway thing, the thing that's over there, because it made this bump up, and I wanted this to be able to sit in between that ridge perfectly because it holds it into place like I did over there. So I had to take that off. There was 4 screws, and then there was little push things that would not come out, so I just broke those. I figured if I need to put it back in, I'll just rebuy them. But now we got the board in, and I'll cut that, and then we'll have our first piece set down. Okay, so I found another issue. So I put this in, and you can see it's still kind of like teeter-tottering, and I was trying to figure out why. It's because there's actually a bump here on that piece. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut some of this down a little bit right where that bump is, so that it kind of just sets in there. It's a little bit harder of a thing, but that'll actually lock it in better too, so that'll work out better in the end. All right, I notched that out. Now fits in there perfectly with no seesaw now. All right, the frame is in. It was a little bit tricky dealing with that bump right there, but got that notched out, got the whole thing set in. Looking pretty good, right?
Yes, looks good.
All right, day 3. I didn't get done yesterday, but I was able to get some of this cut, and I should be able to get through it pretty quickly right now. Got to get these put on. These are the top pieces, so I got to get those put on, and then I got to work on the plywood. I'm coming down on a time crunch now because we do need to have this done pretty soon, but hopefully I'll be able to get most of it done today and maybe just finishing stuff tomorrow. And there still is a few things to figure out, like supports over there to be able to put something across to hold all that. I might just do blocks right now and figure out something better later, but I'm gonna get this box done and I'll check back in with you guys after. All right, well, this guy just decided to join the build. It's kind of freaking me out because when you get close to these, they start doing that screaming thing, so I'm kind of scared to get close to it. Maybe I'll just let him stay there for a little bit. All right, there's the box. Now it's time to add supports. Bam, and there we go. That only took me like 2 minutes. It was a piece of cake, no problem. I'm totally kidding. That took like 2.5 hours. That was quite a while to get that done. I'm definitely gonna be honest with you guys. This is a lot of work, especially when you're not like used to doing this. And I've been taking a lot longer because I'm like actually drilling like pilot holes and stuff before I put the screws in. So I don't split the wood, which is gonna make it better, but it could be a lot faster just to drill it in anyway. But so far it's turned out pretty well and I'm excited about it. All right, so I'm actually gonna end the video there with the framing done. Here's a cool shot of it. So the next video will be putting in the plywood tops and actually getting like the bed down so that we can have the modular bed couch design. But that will be in the next video. So if you guys like this video, remember to do the cheapest thing you can today. Tap that like button. Also subscribe to the channel for more of these to see the next parts, to see it finally come together and be a modular micro camper in the end. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, stay cheap.
Hey, you better be saving that money. Don't you be spending it now. You're still here watching this? You might as well just subscribe. Why would you not at this point?